Kidnapped, walking the scene with you in old flicks from the 90s. So keen, the VHS Club, they're the talk of the town. Breaking it down, spreading nostalgia all around. Moving and grooving to the synth-pop sound. Their insights so fresh, painting pictures profound. From Pulp Fiction to Clueless, they know it all. The genuine love for movies stands strong. Unfolding memories on that VHS screen, talking about classics like you've never seen. Katie with her charm, Matt with that wit. Together they make the VHS Club legit.
Welcome back to the VHS Club. Happy Thursday, everyone. How's it going, Nat?
It's going.
It's going.
It was a good movie watch this week.
It was a needed movie watch this week because we were in the desert, and here in the eastern part of the United States and Canada, it is awful, snowy, horrible weather. So even though I'm sure it was not fun to be in the desert, it was fun for me to be in the desert for a few hours. So I agree with the reprieve of this one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so we are coming off watching Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark last week, and this one is like in the same
It's
vein.
adventuring continued. It's around the same epoch, and it's like there's the sort of the brash American gunslinging adventurer as well.
Yeah. I asked Dane if he preferred the Mummy or Indiana Jones, and he was like, those are not comparable movies. It was like, those are not. He was like, that. What did he say? That was the same as comparing Star Wars and Bill and Ted. And I was like, hey now. Let's not be mean to Bill and Ted.
That's a little rude.
Oh, so yeah.
I think it's comparable. It's just it didn't at the time. I don't know. It didn't quite have the same impact. I think the Mummy hit a different generation. Like it hit a particular generation of people, as opposed to Indiana Jones. Just everybody loved.
Yeah,
I think everybody loves the Mummy now, especially. There's been a lot of the Mummy is super popular on social media, and people discovering it and watching it for the first time, and the responses are hilarious. And like you could see, like everybody loves this movie, and I remember it being popular, but I don't remember it having like the response of like adults and kids loving it equally.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get too into it, we need for you to say, so we are reviewing The Mummy tonight, 1999, The Mummy, Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz. It's incredible. What's it about, Nat?
John Hannah, Fur. Anyways, it's such a good cast.
Nat's just going to read off all the cast back to back.
Like, I love them. It's about a feisty librarian with a drunkard brother who seek the help of a brash American adventurer / treasure hunter to solve some ancient Egyptian mysteries. It goes badly, but then they fix it.
It's maybe like an ancient Egyptian love story gone wrong.
Well, I mean, there's romance in it, but it's kind of like, and I preface this with Indiana Jones, and I was going to say Titanic. I don't even know that we did Titanic, but
we did
whatever.
Titanic. We did Titanic.
Did we? I can't remember. You know, when you're going to rob a grave, shit that goes wrong you've earned. So when things go very sideways in this, it seems a little deserved, and by a little, a lot. But in all fairness to our main crew, they do fix it as much as possible.
They do fix it as much as possible, which puts it in a similar vein as Indiana Jones. Like our heroes are good intentioned, and then there's like the bad guys who are just doing it for the grave robbing of it all. Neither side is like 100% great. We should all just leave this stuff alone.
Yeah, really, we should. It's like when they're reading the legend, or like there's the narration at the beginning, and like the legend is, it's like, if you open this, you will like enact a curse that will plague. And I was like, so who touched what? And COVID happened. Like,
I know.
Who did it?
Yeah. I feel like if you're reading a book and it's like there's a curse, you kind of need to be like, well, let's put that back on the shelf. That should be the point where you're like, we're good. We're all good here. We don't need to go any further. But they did. They definitely went further.
I'm like, opening like 3,000 plus year old coffins, especially without masks, seems crazy to me. Like, your spores, even just the spores.
The spores of it all. That's not even getting into the scarabs, which I had to look up. I was like, wait, I had a moment rewatching this movie, and I have not seen this movie as many times as I had seen Indiana Jones, I'll just say. But it had been a while since I watched this one, like just about everything we do. And there are parts later in the movie where there are flesh-eating scarab beetles, and I literally like picked up my remote and I was like, pause, so that I could fully focus on in IMDb/Google search of like, are there flesh-eating scarab beetles? And thankfully there are not. So in the same way that there are not scorpions in the Boston area, we can all just take a deep breath that there are not flesh-eating scarab beetles, even though that is a very big part of this movie. So deep breath, everyone. Yes. It's okay.
I mean, there is like a whole mythical side coming to life sort of thing. It's like that sort of, every time they open something and it makes that like breath, like a deep breath coming from the pits of Hades sound. And at one point Rick is even like, that happens a lot here, which was really funny to comment on.
I know, I do like that this one. So I feel like this is probably one of the last ones that I can think of, not counting like all of the remakes and sequels, etc. But one of the last ones I can think of that is this blend of monster movie, adventure movie, and like
and comedy. It does have a lot of comedic moments, which I think is where people differentiate it from Indiana Jones. Like, it's separate because this seems more comedic.
It is more comedic. It also though has like that, I don't know, and I think maybe part of me is like, this is maybe why I am who I am, or like are movies like this. But there's something like, I've always just been very, very fascinated with Greek history, Egyptian history, these like legends, stories of these ancient cultures. This is not a historically accurate movie to any degree. Like, this is so wrong on so many levels. There are no flesh eating bugs. There is no, but I do think that there is something like really endearing to me personally about the idea of this like feisty, smart woman character who is a librarian. That checks a box for me. The idea that it takes place like in Egypt, even though it was not filmed in Egypt. I love the legend, the curse, the monster story vibes of it all. And I don't think that is like, I can't think of that as being overly common anymore. Hopefully it makes a resurgence, but it's been a while since we've had kind of a movie that has all of those boxes checked.
We did sort of romanticize this like pillaging of ancient cultures
Yeah,
in the
true.
name of discovery. And
True.
there is a fine line, because it's like we still want to learn, which is interesting. We want to learn about the past, but do we ever actually learn from the past?
Interesting, interesting question.
Accurately, no.
No. Short answer, no.
If we
do
look
not.
at the news headlines, we've learned nothing ever, but because we just keep doing it over and over again. But there is this fascination with exploring, whether it's exploring like space to find something new, or exploring the past to learn these ancient secrets or things that were lost, and like in Indiana Jones, they say, like, if I drop this pen, which is completely worthless, in like 300 years, it's going to be worth something, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's like we have romanticized it. It probably is done super unethically and poorly in real life, but is it super fascinating and really cool? And did I want to grow up to be an adventurer? 100%.
Oh yeah, there was a whole slew of jobs that I wanted based entirely on
archaeologist,
feelings I had for movies. Yeah, like archaeologist, lawyer, really wanted to be forensic scientist. Like all of this is just because of storytelling, movies, TV shows, pop culture, media. So yeah, no, definitely. I love Josh has this comment in responding to my book comment. He says, "Don't put the book back on the shelf. You need to burn the book to make sure no one is ever able to find it again." And we have Val back hanging out with us. And before you even ask, the answer is no. She has not seen the movie yet. Welcome back, Val. We always miss having you in the comments. So hopefully your adventuring and your travels have been going well. Heather is saying it's super campy and funny, which I think is absolutely true. I think, and we talked about this last week as well, this idea of like the 90s had a really great run of these like action adventure comedy movies. And I think this is why so many of us that grew up in this generation just like still are ride or die with Brendan Fraser, because he is just such a great embodiment of this, where he's able to play very serious, phenomenal acting roles, but he's also able to play all the way to the other side slapstick roles. And he had just come off doing George of the Jungle, which is like as slapsticky as you possibly get, and then fell into this role. And like almost every movie out there, he was not their first choice. They had they had Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, like all these kind of action stars in mind.
Adam Sandler basically created his career, because I forget how the story starts, like where they met, but when they were doing, was it Spinal Tap? And he was like, this guy has to be in it. Not Spinal Tap.
Not Spinal Tap.
Anyways, it was his first, I think, role, and Adam Sandler like literally chased down the director and was like, "No, you have to put this guy in it." And he's like, "I'm not going to do the movie if you're not in it."
Airheads.
Was it Airheads?
Airheads, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm like Spinal Tap.
I was like, not
no.
Spinal Tap, but she'll come
it's
around.
Like the SNL. It's the SNL sketch of Spinal Tap, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Adam Sandler, but yeah, and it's interesting. Like he just comes across as so genuine and charming and funny, and he's created this whole ride or die thing, which is fantastic to see, because now the Mummy's coming back, because again everybody's rediscovering the Mummy franchise, and they're like, yeah, we want more, and now we're gonna get more. So yay.
We are in a renaissance. So welcome to the
renaissance. Yes.
Welcome to the renaissance. I am here for it. I am completely a giant fan of Brendan Fraser. I'm so thrilled to see him back in the limelight. And I mean, now we have an actor who is Oscar worthy. So I love that this movie is so like iconically him.
Well, and Rachel Weisz and have all of them been in award noms? I think so.
Oh gosh, I think so.
John Hannah for sure as well. John Hannah's also super funny, like top tier Scottish actor. Love him. Very, very funny.
Josh is saying, which is why when he showed up with the long hair and Evelyn and John find him in prison, he was like, "Oh, hey, it's George from George of the Jungle." Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He does look that way. He was famously in George of the Jungle and in Encino Man, which has been on our list for a while. So we'll have to circle back and do that one. Well, I want to talk a little bit about, controversial take potentially, or maybe you're all in the same weird state of mind as me, but I do. So we find out the backstory of the Egyptian, not even kind of remotely historically accurate backstory of this Egyptian priest who falls in love but isn't allowed to be with this woman because she is like of the
Pharaoh's
king,
mistress?
of the pharaoh, of his harem, or
Like
of
not even
his
his
mistress.
wife, but it's
No.
like his mistress.
His mistress.
Like not even the guy's wife. Like,
Yeah.
like just one of his side pieces. I'm like, okay. Like,
So
he
he's-
really took that badly.
So it's like, it's very like, I don't know, it has like Antony and Cleopatra vibes. It's very like Romeo and Juliet forbidden love moments. And they're of course separated, and then because obviously like brutally killed and a curse set, and then flash forward, we're back in this kind of modern,
Like,
yet
how
in the 20s
bad of a-
storyline.
Like how bad of a bad guy is he really though? Like
I know, like exactly. So that's why, like, that's my hot take moment. Like, he's not really like he's not
He's-
really all that bad a guy. And had human sacrifice not been necessary to bring back the love of his life, like, we probably wouldn't be feeling as angry at him as we are. Like,
I mean, we could remake this movie as a romance
We
and
could.
make them the good guys.
we could make
you
them the
know?
good guys. We
Like,
could make them the good guys.
it's not a stretch. I mean, he's a little murdery, but also like they killed his woman, and
He's not
Yeah.
like, if you really think about it. Okay, so in defense of him,
he's only going after.
he's
what
only
he
going after
needs.
people who are coming at, like, he's been placed in this tomb, like basically as like the living
Alive.
dead. Yeah, right. Like, so he's thousands of years or whatever time period it's been, and they open up the tomb. So like they are grave robberying his area, and they awaken him. He's really only like protecting himself, protecting the love of his life, and trying to bring her back from the dead, which requires a human sacrifice. So if you remove how bad the human sacrifice part is,
Well, a
which
few human sacrifices.
okay, a few human sacrifices, but if you remove that from it,
He also unleashes the plagues of Egypt, but you
True.
know,
only in
other than
defense.
all of the plagues.
only in his defense, not because he like necessarily wants to, but yeah, no,
in defense of the mummy.
in defense of the mummy, I
Team mummy.
I don't know. But it is like monster vibes, right? It's the same kind of like questions you could ask about Frankenstein's monster and about like other monsters, right? Where you're like, well, it's not really their fault. They were made and or put into these kinds of positions, like, which is kind of just sad. And it's really just because of
Frankenstein's
like
monster did nothing. Like, that poor-
hubris. Yeah,
poor
right.
thing.
Like, yeah, in defense
Poor
of him. So I don't know. I kind of like that he's like a bad guy, but he's like not the baddest of bad guys, and you do kind of feel somewhat bad for him. But then
I mean, you don't want
him to
like,
win. Like,
you don't
him
want
to win.
Rachel Weisz to get off.
Yes,
right?
true.
Like,
True.
her and Rick are like long games, so
True.
you don't want her to be off. But
Yeah.
I mean, some of the more, and they're also like, she's on the team. So there's these two teams trying to find the lost city of.
Teams. Hello, sorry.
Well,
go ahead. They are
groups.
teams. They're groups.
They
Yeah.
are teams.
They're
Like,
competing
not sports
in an
teams.
epic reality show. Yeah.
Okay, so technically they could be sports teams, but
They could be.
there's like the American team, which is all Americans plus their Egyptologists.
Sure.
And then there's, I guess, the British team, which is technically a duo with Rick, who's also an American, but he's not a fan of the other Americans, so he's kind of like Team UK. So
There's the
So
UK team.
the
and
UK
American
versus
team.
the USA are going after the same thing. Whereas Team UK wants to, I mean, I feel stupid saying this because I mean they've pillaged the planet, but the UK, I mean, but they're going after the knowledge. Like they want, I mean, okay, granted, her brother kind of just wants to rob everything, but every time like Evie and Rick are like, no, leave it alone. And he's like, okay, fine. But they're going for the knowledge. It's like at the end where he drops the book and she's like, you dropped the book? Like, it's a book. And they're like, just leave it. We're all dying at the moment. But like, she wants the knowledge and not the hubris or the money. She's not in it for the money. That team is not in it for the money. Whereas the other team has more bad guy vibes because they're just in it for making a buck.
But they're not Nazis or Russians. So, I mean, all things considered, that's kind of impressive that they're not like one of the, quote unquote token bad guys. We do also have the like,
I mean, it depends from the perspective.
True. Yeah,
like, there's the line, like on the boat so they're on their way there, and the boat gets ransacked, gets like attacked by I was going to say pirates, but like the actual protectors of the lost city of souls.
Yeah. The third
attacks
group
the
of
ship.
people.
Yes, so
you don't touch this.
The
people.
third group. Yeah. The third team is let's not start the end of the world team.
They're just a team of referees that are like, no.
Put it down. Red flag on the field. So they attack the ship to try and stop them from finding the lost city of souls. And John Hannah has this really funny line, but it's only funny from a non-American perspective because the Americans are there, the American team are like having this shootout, and it's like the old guns. So they're like clacking their guns and they're firing everything and not paying attention to everything around them. And he just sort of like sly like a fox goes through the chaos, finds the piece, like the amulet or whatever that he needs, the box. And he's like, look, I didn't even have to try, and I got everything I needed, and now I'm out of here. And he sees the Americans. He's like, oh, those damn Americans, like with their guns kind of thing. And it's funny, but I feel like that's funny from a foreign perspective for an American film. It's... Anyway, so it's like they are the bad guys, but not to
But we're
American.
not the stereotypical bad guys.
Yeah, no, we're not not Nazi bad.
We're not Nazi bad guys. Yeah, we're not the Nazis or the Russians, which are always the bad guys in these movies.
Like not starting a world war bad, but
yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it does also have that weird like it's an American film, but it's really from like a sort of non-American perspective almost.
Yeah.
Which is,
I
don't know.
Yeah, you're right, because it's got, because it's sort of into the teams as you calling them. It does. It's not. There's not really what's kind of nice about this one actually, like, and I know it's like blasphemous to compare it directly to Indiana Jones, but what is nice about this one in comparison to Indiana Jones is that in the Indiana Jones movies, it's Indiana Jones. Like there is Marion and there are the other like women that are in the movie, but it's really him. Whereas this movie and
it's more her.
It's in many ways like, but it is a team. Like it's really not the Rick show, and it's not like it's not just her. Like you need all of the different people on the team. It's an amazing race sort of situation. Like you need really the skill set of everyone on the team.
It's a cute sort of like to see their love story unfold, but not just their love story, but their friendship and their trust in each other on this job. It's a job for Rick, and for her, it's an adventure, but and for knowledge. Yep. But like to see them work together, and every time like she'll do something that impresses him, and vice versa. Because when she first meets him, she's like, he's, a loud, brash American, and he has no manners, and he's just going to likely get us killed, but he has the information we need, so I'm going to put up with him. But then you see her slowly, like, chip away that armor, and then him, too. Like, she'll, like, on the camel, she impresses him, and then when she's learning to fight, or... there's all these little things that they sort of break down their barriers and create a partnership.
Yeah. And it's
every time he tries to like,
it's totally a me cute movie. I love it.
Every time he tries to sideline her, he realizes there's no point.
Yeah, I do like that, even though it's like, a little eye roll here and there, but I do like that he is constantly trying to make sure that she's safe. So he's like, okay, you wait here. At one point,
but then he also teaches her.
But he teaches
her how to fight
because she's the only one that can read the hieroglyphs and like knows all of the history. Like without her, like again, each person
they wouldn't have found anything.
Each person on the team has a very distinct role. She's not just like a damsel in distress that's there. She's not only there because she's the the resident like archaeologist or because she has the amulet or what. Like she's there for a number of different reasons. So it is kind of
she's also funding the trip.
She's also funding the trip. She also saves his life. So like there is a bunch
and vice
of
versa.
there it's an interesting. It is a partnership, and I really like that. And as Paul is saying, Rachel Weisz was the only actress offered her part, unlike Brendan Fraser, who was that role was offered
Brendan.
to a bunch of people. But I mean,
she's brilliant. I love her.
They're all brilliant. I think they I can't imagine this movie with a different cast. So
some of the really cute moments when she first sees him cleaned up after jail and he has his haircut and everything, and she's like, oh. And then when he sees her dressed up in to go on the camel ride, so she's dressed in more of like a headscarf and a face scarf and stuff for riding through the desert, he has his moment. And then one of my favorite lines is when she says, she's describing how this guy was like the mummy, how he was like locked up and in this tomb and the curses that were put on it and how cruel it was. And she's like, he must have been very naughty. And the look on his face, like Rick is like, does a kind of a double take and it's like,
Say more.
It's just those little moments that are really, really cute.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment in this entire movie is fairly early on where she's in the library and she accidentally knocks like domino style all of the bookshelves over.
She did not have her bell moment.
No, and she just says, I forget even what the exact line is, but it's something just like along the lines of like, oops, or like, oh shoot, or whatever. It's just so perfect. And imagining like having to, I mean, they pulled it off, and I think they pulled it off in the first take or fairly early on. But the work it would take to like perfectly do that, and again, like, you know, without any kind of
and to reset that
would be a nightmare. Yeah,
because I believe because it looked like a practical effect.
Yeah,
and a lot of the set looked like a practical, like physical set.
Well, we should talk a little bit about this because and Paul has already started sharing some interesting facts. So a couple things right off the start. So the concept of the Mummy movie actually goes back to the 1930s. So there was a Boris Karloff like movie called The Mummy that is a similar storyline. Definitely not the same adventure vibes and what we ended up with, but has some of the similar elements. And then people have been trying to remake it since that date, since the 1930s. So it took until May 7th, 1999 for this movie to actually come to be. And obviously there have been sequels since, and they're in talks for doing more Mummy movies. So it'll be interesting. But it was not easy to make. This is one of these movies where like you read the stories and you're like, wow, really glad I wasn't part of that situation. First off, Brendan Fraser nearly died during technically died during the scene where his character is being hanged at the very beginning of the movie. So they go, Evie and her brother go to like hire him basically, but he's in jail and he's about to be executed, and he's like literally in the act of being hanged, and he falls through, and he's kind of like dangling there as they're having this conversation on trying to save his life, and eventually he is cut down. Brendan Fraser like stopped breathing and had to be resuscitated. Like that scene went horribly wrong and everything was crazy. And that's just the beginning of it. Like they weren't able to film in Egypt because of a whole bunch of cultural unrest and political issues that were happening at the time. So they filmed in Morocco. And the temperature got upwards of 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like literally like things should have been melting at that temperature, like the opposite of what we are experiencing right now in New England. Like,
I mean,
crazy
likely things probably did melt, but
crazy temperatures. And even worse than that, they were like the whole area that they were filming in, which, as you were said, Nat, like what were like sets that they had built like inside non-active volcanoes. Like they were like building in like crazy places. But I guess there were similar to Indiana Jones, but not planned. There were snakes everywhere, and not just like normal snakes, venomous will kill you level snakes.
Yeah.
So they actually had to like pause multiple times for a snake wrangler to come on set and like safely remove these venomous snakes. And
a
I guess
wild snake, like a
not
snake in the wild,
not a snake meant to be on
part
set.
of the film,
not part of the film at all. They had to just remove them from the set because they like literally were worried. And Brendan Fraser is quoted as saying that like he went like off to the side to take a leak and like saw one of the snakes that the production team had told him, like, if you see this snake with like this kind of marking, it will literally, like, we will have to amputate your like parts of your body if it bites you. So like, do not let this snake bite you. And he said he literally just ran, so, which is fair. I mean,
God.
So this was not an easy process. So like I'm thankful that this movie did as well as it did, because if you imagine all of that work and fear and injuries and like everything, and then it bombed, it would have been like just so awful. So it did not. It was a wild success. It had a budget of 80 million and it came in at 416 million dollars at the worldwide box office, and it was one of the highest grossing movies of the year.
The cast was pretty big league at the time too. Like Brendan Fraser was super popular. Rachel Weisz was more popular in, again, the UK than America. I wonder if this was one of her first American movies.
It might have been,
like Hollywood
actually.
movies, but she was recognizable beforehand, I guess, outside of Hollywood. John Hannah was also famously from Four Weddings and a Funeral and other big popular films. So he was already very popular. Again, maybe not in America, but like they were well-known actors. I think the only like super newbie was Oded Fur, who plays, I guess, the sort of leader of the resistance. Protectors. La Résistance. Of the Protectors. And as Katie was saying before we logged on, what a beautiful man.
What a beautiful man.
What a beautiful man. She's like, Katie had said, like, he's one of the only people who has like tattoos all over his face. I'm like, he's prettier with them.
Yeah. I am on board with his face tattoos, his whole outfit, his longer hair, which normally I'm like, I don't know, that's not really my thing. But with him, I'm like, yep, anything you want to do, that looks fine.
Whatever. You do you, babe. We're there.
You do you. Yeah.
And it's funny because like one of the most beautiful casts, and one of the comments that you see a lot on social media is people seeing this for the first time. They're like, did this trigger a generation of bi panic for just me or everybody?
Everyone. Just everyone.
It's like, no, we all think that they are all super attractive and they all have great chemistry. And yes, we are all on board with that. That's why it did well. It's cast chemistry.
Cast and chemistry. Oh my goodness, I didn't read this. Paul is saying that the production had the official support of the Moroccan army and the cast members had kidnapping insurance taken out on them.
That makes sense.
A fact that Stephen Sommers disclosed only after the shooting had finished. So that, like,
wait, the actors didn't know about that while they were filming?
Which is crazy.
Is that ethical?
No.
That's not ethical.
No.
It was the 90s, I guess.
It was the 90s.
Oh my God.
This was also going to be a very, very different movie. So as I said, like the original Mummy movie, excuse me, came out in 1932. And then they tried to remake it a whole bunch of times, particularly in the 80s and like the early 90s. But I guess at one point it was being developed as a serious horror film directed by Clive Barker. Even crazier, director Joe Dante, who did Gremlins, which is a wild movie, was attached to the Mummy at one point. He wanted it to again be like very dark and scary, leaning more into kind of the monster vibes. But Stephen Sommers was the only one that really saw it as kind of a Indiana Jones with monsters pitch, and that was the one that did it. Probably because Indiana Jones was a huge success at that point, so that was definitely the right move.
It was an easier sell.
I mean, I know none of you Tater Tots like a horror, but I would have been there for a horror. I would see a horror version of the Mummy.
I'd still watch a horror version for sure.
Not as good. I'll give you that. It probably wouldn't be as good, but
no, I mean, we love the moments. Like, we love the little romance moments. We love the little friendship moments.
Yeah.
We love a feisty librarian. And a brash American.
Yeah, you're right.
Specifically like, Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. We love Brendan Fraser as a brash American. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when he hoists her over his shoulder and like nearly unalives her going back through that door, but still, it's like tosses her on the bed. I'm like, no, don't walk away from that. Like, close the doors, but with you in the room. Like, no. But I mean, they have to save the fate of the world.
They did.
And locking her in was not useful whatsoever. But
no, it didn't really do a whole lot. It's funny. We just finished up talking about a whole bunch of like practical effects and sets and everything that were built, and obviously it was like a crazy experience from start to finish, one I can't even begin to imagine. But this movie also had a ton of non-practical special effects, CGI effects and such that were through it. So like none of to make you feel better, unlike other movies we've talked about recently, none of the Beatles were real. So like that was all manufactured. The scarabs were not there. It was there were a few real beetles, but in general it was a mix of CGI. There are no flesh-eating beetles though, so they were not flesh-eating beetles.
No bubbling. Wow, that was a struggle bus. Bubbling souls in that little pool. Tar-like pool was probably CGI.
No, I guess so I guess the like rotting resurrection scenes of Imhotep, that like those required just an insane amount of CGI work. Again, our friends at Industrial Light and Magic were responsible for all of it, so that's why it is as good as it was. This one, I will say though, like did I think push the envelope farther in special effects and was obviously, almost a decade, more than a decade. Yeah, more than a decade newer than Indiana Jones. But
I mean, it did come out in 99, so it's this is like the era of home computers and computer graphics. And
so
it was kind of the heyday.
These effects, I think, look a little bit more dated. Hilariously, like at least in my opinion, the special effects from Raiders of the Lost Ark, of which there are less special effects in general than in The Mummy, but those ones, I think, held up better, or like for some reason like looked better than this movie. Like they were campy. This movie is campy anyway, and like that's just the vibe of this movie. But weirdly, like not the Beatles for me, but like some of the later scenes. I'm trying to think of like even specific ones that you
like
could,
the
you
souls,
were like, the souls, yeah, where it just
both good
felt,
and bad, and
it felt like 90s computer games where you're like. Yeah.
like super impressive at the time.
Yeah, super impressive at the time, but didn't date as well, I don't think.
Very true. And like when you look for it, yes. Overall though, I found the movie used enough practical effects and it took place in the 30s that it kind of did keep it enough away from aging poorly.
Yeah.
Like it's still very watchable today for everybody.
Yeah. If they had leaned,
there
more
is
into
kind
it, maybe
of
not, but
there's kind of an expectation nowadays that any computer effects, CGI effects, should be flawless and look real life. They never really do.
I mean, this is a monster
even
movie.
Watching,
like it should be real. Like it's not. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it should be like that hyper realistic. Paul is saying.
I find even watching things in HD, like watching nature documentaries in HD is fascinating and beautiful, but watching, like, say, The Mummy in HD, I'm like, I don't need to see every pore on Brendan Fraser's face.
Agreed.
It's hyper unrealistic because it doesn't look like that in real life.
Yeah, you're like too close, too close.
Like sometimes HD, I'm just like, it's too realistic that it looks unrealistic now. So it's
Well,
Hold
apparently
on to my old TV.
The average special effect cost was $125,000 per shot. The filmmakers reportedly spent $15 million of the $80 million budget on special effects provided by Industrial Light and Magic, which fair, absolutely
good,
fair. It took apparently the scanning. So they scanned Arnold Voslow's, who played Imhotep. They scanned his face to
also
create that
super
decayed version. Yeah, he's great. But the tech apparently was so new that it took weeks to render. So like they did the scans and then they just had to wait for like a really, really long
to render. Yeah.
Which is nuts.
That makes sense.
Heather's saying the Beatles bothered her. Well, you're not alone, Heather. Apparently the Beatles terrified the audiences so much which is okay. This is kind of my favorite, Heather, even though I know you just said that it was really gross. And I was with you. I literally paused the movie.
The Beatles under the skin at the beginning.
The Beatles
too much.
under the skin. The Beatles were too much. But in the first time ever, so you know how we always talk about how like they play these movies in front of like test audiences, and then the test audiences screw up the movie because they're like, we didn't like blah blah blah. The test audience in this one was so terrified of the Beatles that the studio was like, let's add more Beatles. And I'm like, I kind of respect that. That's like the opposite of what they normally do, and I'm kind of here for it, even though Heather was grossed out and I was definitely grossed out. I think
I mean,
I think it's great.
I think anything in like a sealed underground tomb that's been sealed for thousands of years would be pretty freaking gross in there. I like, for me, because I'm hugely arachnophobic, just the cobwebs.
Well, Val is also saying Beatles gross. Another vote for Beatles gross. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, at least
I think it's the click 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 of the exoskeleton of the Beatles that I just no. It's that like scuttling sound that they make. It's just so.
It's the scuttling sound. It was the flesh-eatingness of it all that really got me. I was like, oh.
Okay, so not scuttling, munching. The munching sound.
The munching sound.
Too much.
It goes back. We talked about this a little bit in the when we were reviewing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but this concept of like the things that we were afraid like were gonna get us as kids. Like there
like
was
quicksand.
Something. Yeah, like
where did that go?
Like quicksand. Where did that go? Right. Like I feel like the flesh-eating beetles in this were like reminiscent to me of piranhas, where we're all like, if you like step foot in a body of water where there are piranhas, your whole leg will be gone. Like in seconds. In seconds, these fish will eat everything. Yeah.
You will be like
it'd be over.
Bear.
Exactly.
Like
they'll just be like a bone, right?
Tissue.
That pulls out. Yeah.
Right.
So I
Clean
felt that
bone.
way about the Beatles. Like when they were like, they're flesh-eating beetles, I'm like, oh snap. Like you look away for a second, there's millions of them. Your whole body is going to be gone. It'll just be bones, shiny, sparkly bones. Yeah. And so, yeah, I feel like that made them scarier. It's I don't even know where we got all these beliefs from, like the belief in quicksand killing us and piranhas taking us out. But
it was in every book.
It is the clicking.
Choose your own adventure.
It's the clicking. It's the clicking.
Yeah.
And Paul is saying it's the sound made by the scampering beetles was, I guess, made by upending a rain stick, a hollow tube with baffles and filled with seeds or Yeah. That must be such a fun job, the like person on set who gets to like make weird sound effects out of like random things. It was like, make me a thing that makes this sound.
It's like thunder and lightning, and it's like a sheet of aluminum.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, apparently I think one of the things that made this movie really successful was that the script had a rule that something exciting or like shocking had to happen every 10 minutes, which like, if you think about it, is crazy. And yet
fast paced.
Yeah. And yet really works. Like you can't really ignore this movie. This is like not the movie that you like should be looking down at your phone or like getting a snacky snack. Like you don't hit that pause button and it's over. You're like, what just happened? But there are beetles everywhere. There's just chaos happening all the time. It is super, super fast paced, but I think works.
Yeah, I think it's like they go from wherever they were. I don't even know where they were at the beginning. Cairo, I assume, where the library was.
Sure.
Her little museum. And then it's like all of a sudden, so they're at the jail, and then all of a sudden their ship's being sacked by pirates, and then all of a sudden they're racing across the desert against an enemy team.
Yep.
Go team.
Go teams.
And then all of a sudden it's like they finally get into the sealed tomb, which takes a lot less time than you think it would. Like you see Indiana Jones sweat it out for like, it looks like at least 2 days.
Yeah, they're just in.
They're in there. And then it's like all of a sudden they opened the wrong tomb and everything goes sideways real fast. They don't leave. Like they don't immediately leave, which blows my mind. After that like moaning whoosh sound that Rick comments, like that keeps happening. Weird. Like, why did you stay?
They make a lot of poor decisions, and not like both teams. Many members on both teams make very poor decisions. Like even the decision where the initial guy, and it wasn't even one guy, it's like two guys that do this, but they're like, there's like the beetle like on the wall. They're like, let's touch that.
Taking
It's
them
like,
off.
what? Why are you touching anything? Like if I was in this situation, I'd be the person like with my arms by my side, like do
Hands
not touch
in my
Yeah,
pockets.
do not touch. Everything is a booby trap. Everything is a
Like
booby
that
trap.
gold coin buried in the sand that you see glinting there. Don't just leave it.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah.
Like that classic line that's in every one of these movies is like, oh, that'll fetch a pretty penny. Yeah, your life.
Yeah.
Just bring it straight to Hades, pay the toll, like pay the boatman. Like you're done. You're done. You pick it up, you're done.
I know. I feel like this is how things should play out if you were a treasure hunter in The Mummy or in Indiana Jones. You need to wait until all of the team people have gotten all the way through and like almost every single person is dead from some crazy thing.
Traps.
Yeah, let them set off all the traps. So like one by one, they all die. You could need to wait until like the very, very end when you're in the like inevitable room filled with all the golden jewels and whatever thing. And even then, you need to wait for someone else to put that stuff in their pocket first and see
what
how
you
that
need to do is
goes.
have a relay system
Yeah, exactly.
to get it out. But
Yeah.
like the people that are supposed to survive this, leave the I guess plebe in there to like fork it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't go in yourself. Like,
don't go in yourself. And if it was this wouldn't work in the 1920s or 30s, but you need for the maybe with did they have walkie-talkies back then? With that, I guess not. Probably not that technology. You need like the archaeologist / like genius librarian person to be like outside and be like, you're looking for these 3 things that are the most valuable. Like you need that person. It's not. This is not a game of like put as much as you can into your pants. Like this is a game of like find the correct.
They
thing.
may have had walkie-talkies. They were invented in 1937 by Canadian inventor Donald Higgs.
Of course they were. Go Canada.
Canada and its tech is pretty good.
Pretty impressive.
We have a lot of impressive tech in our invention history, but yeah, we invented walkie-talkies in the 30s. Good for us. I didn't know that. It's like the more you know moment, but it's like our heritage moment is what we call them here.
I love it.
Make a clip. Our heritage moment in 1937.
Yeah, exactly. It's a heritage moment.
Yeah, so they could have had walkie-talkies. Oh yeah, so one thing that made me giggle, because it makes me think of every slasher movie ever. So when the locust gets unleashed and it's attacking everybody on the campsite, or on the archaeological site, technically, they all run basically up the stairs by going back into like the esophagus, the burial ground, like tomb. I'm lost. The cave. They all went back in. I'm like, but that's where it came from. So how is that a better choice? Because now you're all fighting your way out.
Yep.
And like the dude that sent that out is in there. Like you all just basically ran up the stairs when Jason showed up at the door. So, oh boy.
I realized, and this is like humiliating fact about Katie. So like I grew up like fairly religious, so you would think that I'd be better at this, and I like literally, again, dad moment, I like was watching this with Scarlett, my 11-year-old. So I paused the movie and I was like, allow me to tell you about the plagues. So I was like trying to list off like all I was like, well, there are locusts, water turns to blood, and I like completely butchered. I just completely butchered that entire story. Like wasn't even close to being accurate. And then halfway through, like lost my train of thought in what like they actually were. And then I had to Google search it, and then was like not even correct at all. So I had to read like the correct biblical Old Testament story about all of the what were they weren't even like the plagues. That's not what they were called. Anyway, whatever. All of the different things, which didn't match the movie.
Like the
either.
apocalypse ponies.
Yeah. All the different things. But and then I was annoyed because I was like, well, now I've just wasted like 35 minutes badly explaining this to an 11-year-old who's just
and
like,
your poor
unpause the
daughter's
movie.
like, I can't believe you hit pause.
Yeah. Please stop pausing the movie. And then on top of all of it, like, it wasn't even like they didn't even match. It wasn't like what was happening in the movie was actually like accurate to what happened in like Old Testament times, other than a couple. So they had like the water turns to blood and they had the locust, but then like, not the same as
there flooding and earthquakes?
Lost,
Was that part of it? Or
lost
was
a
that just
bunch.
part of the...
No, there was no flooding or
No, that's
earthquake.
just
Now
part
I can't
of
remember.
that's,
Don't make
that's
me
the
do it again.
apocalypse.
Don't make
I'm
me
sorry.
do it again. It was so bad.
Like I'm mixing up like
it was so bad. Yeah, I mixed up
the
all
end
of
of
them.
days
Yeah.
versus the plagues.
Yes,
Different
no,
time
they're not called the
period.
plagues. What were they? It is like so. I thought it would match because it is Egypt. We're looking it up. Biblical.
Which also, I think it's
plagues,
hilarious because you were
Egypt.
deeply obsessed with ancient Egypt as a child. You
They are
had
called
every
plagues.
book. They are called plagues.
They are called
The
the 10 plagues of Egypt. Okay, let's go through them because we're here. We're sorry. We're pausing the movie
Like,
for a
how do
second.
you not know this by heart? You were so obsessed. You took out every book in the library about ancient Egypt.
I
But
did.
whatever.
I got close. All of my memory is gone. So here's what they actually were, but they don't match in the movie. So they were water turned to blood, which they had, frogs, gnats / lice, not unat, like gnats.
No, like gnats, yeah.
Flies, which feels redundant, but
Which
whatever.
they had locusts. I
Yeah.
guess.
Livestock pestilence. No, locusts are different.
Right.
Locusts are like
No,
grasshoppers.
because those are like grasshoppers. Yeah.
Boils.
But in the movie, they kind of looked like moths. They did have the boils.
Boils. Hail.
They did have the boils. They didn't have hail.
Locusts.
Imagine hail in the desert.
Yeah, now would be.
Okay.
I mean,
So they had
necessary
4 of them.
Darkness, total darkness, covered for 3
They didn't have
days,
total darkness.
and then death of the firstborn child, of which the Israelites were able to save themselves. So, but I was kind of like, it feels a little bit mean to me. I feel personally attacked that they were like, we're in Egypt, you like history, we're gonna screw up all of the history. Fair. But then they're like, we're going to put plagues. And I'm like, I've got it. I know these plagues. And they're like, just kidding. We're just going to do some of the plagues. It was like, okay. Yeah. Like, you could have done all the plagues.
If they killed the firstborn, her brother would have died. And then he wouldn't have been able to hold on to the book at the end, the book of life. And then they would have all died.
True.
So, like, they left that out because otherwise they would have all died.
True. I mean, come on, tell me. There are some of you watching in the chat that I'm sure like knew what the plagues were. Was it not even just like a little bit obnoxious that the plagues weren't correct? I feel Paula's with Scarlett. Paula's like, wait a second, I just want to watch this movie.
And you know what's so funny is because Katie used to get so pissed every time we'd rent a movie, like Thursday, Friday night. Her dad would pause to explain to us like that one plane in the background for 1.5 seconds, and he would tell us the whole breakdown of how the plane was built, and we were just like, it has nothing to do with the movie.
pre Google, not even just the plane. Yeah. It would be like, that is a
like other stuff,
Cessna blah 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 plane, and then he would pause again and he'd be like, that's not the same interior as the exterior we just saw. Let's back up. Like, okay, I could tell that exterior is not the same as let's go forward. This interior.
I can tell you all the inaccuracies in Top Gun because I watched it with your dad. So.
Yeah, every inaccuracy.
And it used to like send Katie into like a teenage rage, and you're doing it to your kid. That's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's just this is I think the first one that I've done it on. And I will say, and shout out to Ben if he's hanging out or sees this at some point, but I watched I went to and did a movie night with my brother last weekend. And it's been a while since he and I have just like hung out and done a movie, just the two of us together. And he's the opposite, like, which is probably just like trauma from growing up in my house. But he doesn't pause it for anything. I was like, I'm gonna get an ice cream or something from the kitchen, and he just like kept that movie
tough
playing.
Luck.
Yeah, too bad, you're getting up. And like same thing, like he got up to get something else, and he like didn't pause it at all. I was like, oh, all right, like. We're at different sides of this coin. I kind of liked it, the urgency, because there were no ads. We were watching like a movie with no, but it was a little intense. But yeah, I did pause The Mummy a few times. But Scarlett, I did ask her before we jumped onto tonight's episode. I asked her because she's now seen Indiana Jones multiple times, and this is the first time she'd seen the This is the first time that she had seen The Mummy. And she was like, I was like, okay, Indiana Jones or The Mummy, like, do you have a and she like refused to answer that question. And so I was like, okay, new question. On a scale 1 to 10, where do you rate The Mummy? And she was like, 9.2. I was like, all right, 9.2. Yeah. So this is a 9.2.
I'm telling you, the younger generations, like, it's blown up online for years now. I don't know if it got released on Netflix or Hulu or something, but like once it hit streaming somewhere, people lost their shit. They love it, which fair.
Well, again, we should talk a little bit, and you probably have more context about this than I do. But wait, before we jump into it, we need to laugh about Paul saying they couldn't afford the other plagues because they spent the budget on special effects. Yeah, very, very true.
They needed the scarabs to click, so you know.
They needed They needed
That's
to shake
why
that,
there's only 4 plagues.
Exactly, but so many scarabs. But yeah, we should talk a little bit about Brendan Fraser because Brendan Fraser, unfortunately, and it fills me with rage thinking about it, was like badly treated by a number of people within Hollywood, and he disappeared from Hollywood. You know,
he also broke his back. I think it was on either it was I think in the Mummy franchise. I don't know if it was the first movie.
Yeah, he injured himself.
I think it was one of them that he actually broke his back, and that's when he kind of that was sort of I think the tipping point that he left Hollywood.
Yep.
Which good for him. He got himself out, you know.
He got himself out, and he
could have ended
for a while. But then he kind of made this and this is where you probably know more than I do. It's like the younger generations, yes, to them, found him and and really embraced him, and he kind of disappeared from Hollywood, and then he had this resurgence, this renaissance, where he came back, and then he was in The Whale, which he won an Oscar for. So when The Whale was coming out, and there was obviously a lot of campaigning for it. When you're Oscar nominated, apparently you have to campaign for 3 years prior to to get your nomination. So people were looking him up, and I'm assuming, I can't quite remember, but I'm assuming, I think sometime maybe during lockdown, The Mummy got released on streaming. Yeah. Maybe on Disney. It's not on Disney Plus anymore, but I don't remember what it was.
But it got released somewhere, and people were like, these really, really hot people and all of the dark romance vibes and what's happening, and Book Talk latched onto it, and it just spiraled, and then it also opened this whole conversation about this how it triggered this bi-curiosity in people, because they're like, I don't know who's hotter, and I don't think that I care. Yeah. It was just it's really interesting to see, and it's just it always pops up on social media feeds, The Mummy.
Yeah.
And Brendan Fraser.
And
constantly.
Brendan Fraser
young him is stupid hot.
Yeah. So he's got, which I really like. So I like that this movie was in the absolute kind of heyday of Brendan Fraser, and I think it's cool that it's I don't think it's cool that he left Hollywood. That is, I'm sure he had a bad experience in many cases.
Well, it is
leaving.
In a way, because he saved himself.
He did. I think it is cool that he saved himself, but I think it's cool that that now he is able to enjoy his work. It wasn't he was there the entire time, and so it's just part of things. I feel like it must feel special, and I love that
he has this huge fan base.
Yeah,
he has a huge fan base, and it's multi-generational, and talk about bringing about an intergenerational conversation, which is something that that is always in sort of the health and wellness industry. Intergenerational communication is always considered to be super important because seniors get isolated. So there's always this conversation in wellness and in health to have this, and we have this because of Brendan Fraser. Which is kind of really funny.
It is.
I'm not saying awesome. That Gen X and elder millennials are geriatric yet, but because we're not.
We refuse the term geriatric millennials. We refuse that term.
Yes. I still think I'm Nintendo.
There you
Gen,
go. Paul is saying that after years of doing his own stunts for action films, particularly the Mummy series, left him with requiring multiple surgeries, knee replacements, spinal repairs, and vocal cord surgery. So brutal.
That's probably from his
being literally executed in front of everyone. So Jeff is joining with our brand new Maker's Table Live account, which I will talk about at the end of this episode. But he says that, didn't I just hear that Fraser and Weiss are joining and rejoining and doing a reboot for the franchise? You sure did. Yes. So there is.
Yeah, I think a lot of the cast characters that survived are back in.
Yeah. And I know we're here at our end. So before we jump into, if you're hanging out with us live, this is your time for your rating. There's so many good things you can rate in. Maybe don't rate in snakes, because I feel like maybe that's a little mean. Scarabs, you could also a little bit. But yeah, give us a rating between 1 and 5. We'd love to hear what you thought of it.
Could be pyramids.
Could be pyramids. Could be pyramids. I think so. I wrote down reasons why I think this movie works. It's got flawless casting. It has actual stunts. It's got that whole Indiana Jones adventure tone. It has practical sets, but also has early, really remarkable CGI for the time. Yeah. And really in the grand scale of things, we just don't get movies like this anymore. So there is something special about that level of adventure where it's still okay enough for a family movie, still interesting and fun enough for anyone to watch at any age. I really think I hope that the reboot of this and the newer even reboots of Indiana Jones, even though they were okay-ish, I hope that it brings back more non-reboot movies in this genre, because I do think that I think it's a really fun space to play in, and I think it, particularly today, we just need some levity and some adventure.
I think for my voting, there is one whole tater that just goes to cast chemistry. Because
one tater that's just there.
I'm
with you. One tater just
one
for
tater
the
for
chemistry
Rachel Weisz saying he must have been very naughty, and Rick's reaction. That is a whole potato.
Paul found the Beatles. Paul's doing 5 Beatles. Josh says 5 mummies. All right, well then I gotta up mine. So I was at 4. I was at 4 Christian
and where's
taters.
the chem potato? You need the chemistry potato.
Okay, I will add it in for you. So we'll go to 5. I was still trying to not have 5 for everything.
What's there not to enjoy?
It's true.
Zippy one-liners. Ancient Egypt. Monsters.
True love. It's got everything. It's got everything. Yeah. It's a really fun
Plucky
rewatch.
sidekicks. Both good and bad.
I actually now I want to watch The Mummy Returns, and now I kind of even want to watch The Scorpion King, which I'm sure is as terrible as I remember it being, and yet I still think it would be a fun watch. So I don't know. And
I'm gonna say this, and I have to rewatch it to actually believe my saying this, but I don't fully I remember not fully hating the Tom Cruise one, which is technically
true,
a reboot of this franchise that flopped very hard.
Wow,
but I
didn't even remember
not
that existed until you said that. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I don't remember it being as bad as everybody said it was, and I think it was something like just the ending didn't land. They didn't stick the landing.
All right.
It was
maybe that can be one of our watch parties, and then we can decide whether or not we think it actually holds up.
Or are we deleting it from the franchise?
Or exactly. Or is a watch party that's gone horribly wrong? Josh is saying that it was a great rewatch on VHS. This movie, not the Tom Cruise one.
Yeah. I don't remember, because I only saw it the once when it came out, not in theaters, but on rental, and I remember being like, oh, that wasn't as atrocious as everybody said. So.
Yeah, we don't have a tater tot emoji. Well, I mean, there is a potato emoji, so you could throw a potato emoji in. I know one of these days we'll
how do we petition to get an emoji? We need a tater with a smiley face.
We could create
a potato.
We could create a membership on YouTube, but then that would require a paid level to be able to have our own fun stickers and emojis and things like that. Maybe we do it at a $1 level, and we can have for the unlocking of the special cool ones. We'll play around with it and see what's possible. But yeah, but for now, just the regular potato. We know what you mean. We know what you mean for it. Well,
I mean, it would be fun also if they just made a tater tot emoji in general, but how would that? It wouldn't be very distinguishable at that size.
It's true. It almost like
a tater tot is just
a tater tot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have to be a cool looking thing. We'll have to think about it. We get some t-shirt ideas now. I'm like, we could have no, I'll be right back. We're going to have to create some t-shirts. It's all about the t-shirts. Well, I'm glad we did this one. And we do have some fun episodes upcoming. We have a couple we need to reschedule with some great guests. So we've got that.
Yes.
We haven't decided what we're
I'm
doing
very
next
excited
week, so.
for, is it Enter the Dragon? Is that what we were doing that with?
Yeah, and we have Bushwhacked.
I'm very excited for that one.
I think it's
Yeah, and
not. Is
Bushwhacked.
it Enter the Dragon? That sounds
It's
wrong
one
to
or
me.
the Last Dragon.
The Last
I can't
Dragon.
remember.
I think it's the Last Dragon.
I'm like, it's one of them.
Something Dragon.
It's one of them.
Something Dragon. Well, before we jump off, I will say, so huge thank you. I did see a ton of people jumping in. We did for tonight's episode, try again. So we were live streaming this to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So hey, and shout out to our friends over on Instagram and on Facebook. Thanks so much for hanging out. We're gonna keep though the group live chat here in the YouTube space because that's where people want to be able to chat. So if you want to be a part of the chat experience with other people, you can find us here, as we like to say, most Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. But we are going to try to expand so we can reach some new people and get some more tater tots into the oven. Is that bad? Maybe it's
That sounds terrible.
That sounds terrible. Air fryer?
We will
hang out?
delete that.
Not the oven. We're not trying to kill you. Not the oven. And I did want to say before we all jumped off that if you are looking for a slightly different show, my friend Jeff and I are starting up a new live stream tomorrow. So it will air. It will go live on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you follow any of my channels, and I'll post it here on the VHS Club channels as well. But we will be crocheting and carving wood while having conversation. So crochet, carving, and conversation live, just a casual, fun space to get to hang out. So I'm going to try to work my way towards actually being able to crochet more fun 90s movie stuff that maybe we can have here. Mm-hmm. So that should be a fun opportunity. But you can find us at the Maker's Table Live. That's this channel that Jeff was hanging out with us on it. So I think that was fun that he was here to that. So if you're looking for a different kind of show, welcome to join us over there. Otherwise, much more fun stuff coming here from the VHS Club Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. What else, Nat? Any other fun stuff?
No, that's it.
That's it. That's it. We've got a few movies that have been
I've
on our
added
list
more movies
forever.
to the list. That's all I've done this week.
Something just fell. Sorry.
It's
Too many
Scarab.
horror movies. It's a Scarab. It's coming for me. Well, that must be our cue to wrap it up. So as always, you can join the club by swinging over to the vhsclubpod.com/email. And you can check out everything that's happening over on our website as well, or find us on social media at the VHS Club Pod. And we will see you here on YouTube or wherever you watch and listen most Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Kidnapped.